The Nima Divisional Police Command has commenced investigation into circumstances leading to the death of 2 children, both 3 years old, at a mechanic shop at Alajo in Accra. A statement signed by Superintendent Alexander Kweku Obing, the Director of Public Affairs, said the bodies of the children were found in the backseat of a broken-down Mercedes-Benz saloon car parked at the mechanic shop. It said the bodies were conveyed to the police hospital morgue for preservation and autopsy after crime scene experts had examined the scene. The police advised parents and guardians to prioritize the safety of their children and always keep an eye on them whenever they went out to play. It entreated automobile mechanics to enclose their shops to control access by unauthorized persons, including children. They must also ensure that children and suspicious people found loitering around their premises were reported to the police for immediate action, the statement said. The National Road Safety Authority, NRSA, has removed prohibited lamps from 1,418 vehicles across the country over the last week. The exercise was carried out in collaboration with the Motor Traffic and Transportation Department, MTTD, and DVLA, following coordinated enforcement action to improve night driving by enforcing Regulation 65 of the Road Traffic Regulations 2012, LI 2180. Out of the total of the 1,418 vehicles accosted during the exercise, 900 vehicles were registered as commercial vehicles, 99 as institutional vehicles, and 393 as private vehicles. Trucks and trailers led the pack of offending vehicles with 602, representing 42.4%, followed by 263 minibuses, 179 motorcycles or tricycles, 164 saloon cars, and 106 pickups, representing 18.5%, 12.6%, 11.5%, and 7.4% respectively. The top 6 regions for abuse of Regulation 65 were Greater Accra with 223, Bono with 182, Bono East 121, Upper East 146, OT 112, and Western with 107. The contractors fixing sections of the boundary road in Accra say they will need an extension of 2 more days to complete the work. The boundary road has since midnight of Friday been blocked to facilitate repair works on a 500-meter portion beginning from Shiashi. Resident engineer Ben Saki justified the closure. Quote, "Our intention was to finish the work and then open it to traffic, but we have the second thought of doing the continuous work to the asphalt level before we open it to the public so that we do not come back." The Ministry of Roads and Highways had earlier announced that the access to the boundary road from the Tetekwashi interchange will be closed to the public from 15th to 17th October 2021. The ministry had explained that the closure is to enable repair works on a section of the road to be carried out. The much-anticipated removal of the price stabilization and recovery levy of 16 pesos and the price build-up of fuel at the pumps is yet to take effect, even as the second pricing window commences. This is because Parliament is yet to give the National Petroleum Authority the approval needed to scrap the levy. While many were expecting the scrapping of the levy to take effect in the second window of October, which started on October 16th, another round of increases at the pumps this past weekend has pushed a liter of petrol and diesel to 6 Ghana cedis 80 pesos at some pumps. The NPA on October 11, 2021 disclosed that President Akufo-Addo had approved the removal of the price stabilization and recovery levies on petrol, diesel, and LPG for 2 months. The authority added that the approval followed its advice to the Energy Minister for the government's intervention to mitigate the impact of rising prices of petroleum products on the world market on consumers. Beginning Monday, the price of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, is expected to go up by about 40 pesos per kilo, according to the LPG Marketers Association. This will be the second time this year that the price of gas used in most homes will see a hike in price after it was first increased in May this year by some 18 pesos per kilo. This is irrespective of the announcement by the Ministry of Energy and the National Petroleum Authority that price stabilization and recovery levies will be taken off petroleum products for the next 2 months. The suspension of the PSRL will provide a 14 peso relief for LPG consumers. The Ministry of Finance already has biometric verification for all public sector workers. Therefore, the Control and Accounts General Department does not need workers to obtain a Ghana card for verification purposes before they are paid salaries. Ningo Prampram lawmaker Samuel Narte George has said. He indicated that the Finance Ministry already has the biometric data of the over 800,000 public sector workers. Therefore, it should be easy for the CAGD to verify them without necessarily calling for the Ghana card. Quote, "Everything is regulated by law. Salaries are not regulated by LI 2111. The NIA is behaving as though LI 2111 is the law that governs everything in this country." It regulates you, NIA. It doesn't regulate registration of SIM cards. It is LI 2006 that has not been amended. Payment of salaries is regulated by Workmen Compensations Act. There is the Labor Act. That is what governs the payment of salaries. You cannot withhold my salaries because I don't have Ghana card. There's no law backing it. Opponents of Sudan's transition to democracy took to the streets of Khartoum on Saturday to call on the army to take control of the country. Several thousand demonstrators gathered outside the presidential palace as the country's political crisis deepens. Military and civilian groups have been sharing power since the toppling of President Omar al-Bashir in 2019. However, tensions have grown since a coup attempt attributed to followers of Mr. Bashar was foiled in September. Since then, military leaders have been demanding reforms to the Forces of Freedom and Change coalition, a civilian alliance which led the anti-Bashar protest and formed a key part of the transitional government. The armed forces have also called for the replacement of the cabinet. However, civilian leaders say that the demands are part of a power grab from the armed forces. On Saturday, pro-military demonstrators chanted, quote, "Down with the hunger government," and called for General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, head of the armed forces and Sudan's Joint Military-Civilian Sovereign Council, to instigate a coup and seize control of the country. At least 24 people have been killed in floods in southern India after heavy rains caused rivers to overflow, cutting off towns and villages. 5 children are among the dead. There are fears the death toll could rise further as many people are missing. Several houses were washed away and people became trapped in the district of Kottayam in Kerala state. Video from the area showed bus passengers being rescued after their vehicle was inundated with floodwater. Kottayam and Idukki are 2 of the worst affected districts in the state. Days of heavy rainfall has caused deadly landslides. Swollen rivers have washed away bridges connecting many small villages. Besides the 24 recovered bodies, rescue teams are still looking for 2 missing persons, one in Idukki and one in Kottayam. Military helicopters are being used to fly in supplies and personnel to areas where people are trapped, officials said. Thousands of people have been evacuated and 184 relief camps have been set up across the state, where over 8,000 people are being provided food, bedding, and clothing. Myanmar says it will release over 5,000 prisoners who were jailed for protesting against February's coup. Thousands of people were detained during bloody demonstrations after military leaders seized power. Myanmar's leader, General Min Aung Hlaing, said the 5,636 prisoners would be freed for humanitarian reasons. It comes days after the general was excluded from an annual summit of regional leaders who said the military had not done enough to end the turmoil. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations agreed to invite a non-political representative from Myanmar instead of General Min Aung Hlaing. At least 8,178 people were killed and 7,355 arrested, charged, and sentenced during a crackdown on dissent that followed Aung San Suu Kyi being ousted from power, according to the Assistant Association for Political Prisoners. General Min Aung Hlaing said the prisoners would be released to mark the Buddhist holiday, Thading Nyat, later in October. Black Queens coach Mercy Teko Kweku has named a squad list of 22 players to face Nigeria in the first leg of the 2022 African Women's Cup of Nations qualifiers. The list includes 4 foreign-based players, with Israel-based defender Blessing Shine Agbomoji making a return to the squad. Portia Boaje and Spain-based duo Prisla Dobia and Grace Asantua complete the list of foreign-based players invited for the hurdle. Ghana will take on Super Falcons of Nigeria in 2 legs set for October 20th and 24th, respectively, with the winner of the 2 matches progressing to the final round of qualifiers for Africa's flagship female competition. Leicester came from behind to win 4-2 against Manchester United and end their opponent's 29-game unbeaten run away from home. Mason Greenwood had opened the scoring with a stunning strike, but Yuri Tielemans produced one of his own before Kagol Soyuncu put Leicester ahead late in the game. Marcus Rashford looked to have salvaged something, but Jamie Vardy immediately restored the advantage before Patson Daka ensured the result in stoppage time. It was no more than Leicester deserved, as Brendan Rodgers' side played the more proactive football throughout to end a run of 4 games without a win. The defeat leaves Ole Gunnar Solskjaer under further scrutiny as United's own winless run extends to 3 games as they continue to look less than the sum of their expensive parts. Mona Faye Montrage, known in showbiz as Mona For Real, has released her maiden EP titled Here to Stay. It was preceded by a listening session at the Silverbird Cinemas in Accra on Thursday, October 14, 2021. The Here to Stay EP has 7 songs and 7 videos. The 7-track EP features top artists and was produced by some of Ghana's seasoned beatmakers. The EP comprises Hero, produced by Richie, Zaddy's Girl, featuring Medical, produced by Richie, Hit, featuring Stoneboy, produced by Street Beats, Baby, featuring Shatawale, produced by Mixmaster Grazy, Gimme That, featuring Efia, produced by Mixmaster Grazy, and Bad Girl, produced by Mixmaster Grazy. In total, Mona For Real has 10 songs to her credit since she started her music career in 2020. She earlier released 3 singles, Better Than, Fine Girl, and God's Child. The 27th edition of the Pan-African Film and Television Festival of Ouagadougou, FESPACO, is underway in Burkina Faso's capital. Thousands thronged the Palace du Sports Complex in the Ouaga 2000 district to witness the start of Africa's largest film festival, which runs from 16th to 23rd October. The event was initially planned for February this year, but was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. FESPACO, which started in 1969, is an internationally recognized festival that attracts enthusiasts from across the world to celebrate films largely produced in Africa by Africans. Security was tight in and around the venue, with the army positioned strategically across Ouagadougou. Burkina Faso has been battling insurgency by jihadist groups in the northern and eastern regions since 2015.